You're jealous. Jamie always got the girls, all the attention you wanted, but more than that, he saw a life beyond Queens. You hated him for it. That's why you want to leave, to be more like him. But you will never, ever be anything without Jamie.
You can't function without me. I don't need you, but you need me. Even if you need to hate me, you need me to do it. I'm leaving you behind. You can't stop me. No one can fucking stop me. I'm out.
You're right. We're not boys, but we are brothers.
Ghost. Ghost, don't go. Ghost, come on, man. Don't do this. Ghost.
Power Origins must deliver. That is the topic of today's video, and we're going to talk about how and why this show has to deliver, right? We talked about how, this is going to be one of the most important, if not the most important show in the Power universe, and there's a lot of details to explain why that is. Let's get into it. But before we do that, make sure you guys check out my most recent video. They've been planning this from the beginning, right? This talks about phase 3 of the Power universe and how, everything has come to fruition and what we can expect in phase 3. Now let's get to the topic of the video. One of the reasons why it's so crucial for Power Origins to deliver is mainly the most simplest thing is that it's a prequel show. And anyone who watches TV and understands how shows work, they know prequel shows are the most difficult shows to depict, especially when you have an original show like Power with such a great, strong cast and strong story with the original, group. You kind of take Raising Kanan, for example, right? A lot of Raising Kanan didn't have too much wiggle room in terms of the type of story they were going to tell, because obviously we already know how Kanan's story ends, right? So we know that there wasn't too many high stakes there, right? We knew he was going to survive. We knew Jukebox was going to survive. And outside of that cast, we didn't really know who else is going to make it. And we still don't know who's going to make it, but obviously that's more for season 5. But I say all that to say that in that Ghost and Tommy show, it's the same thing, right? We know they live. We know they make it out, so we know what their future is already. So it's going to be very difficult to create a high stakes show with a younger version of this cast, based off, a prequel setting. And we know that there's a lot of characters and a lot of storylines that they have to try to tie in, because the one thing about the original Power is they spoke a lot about Ghost and Tommy's upbringing. They kind of gave some details here and there. They spoke a lot about Breeze and Kanan and how these different characters were involved in their upbringing, right? So we know that's going to be very, very important when it comes to this show. Like, this isn't the type of show that you could just make up as you go. Like, this is the type of show where they're going to have to outline already 3, 4 seasons, 4, 5 seasons, however long they want to go, however many seasons they want to go. They need to outline what they want to do and what they want to depict in each one of those seasons before they even start filming and writing out the entire show. Because you already know how fans are. Guys, you guys know this better than anyone, right? Us as Power fans, we understand a lot of the details. We remember the intricate details and the intricate conversations that we heard in the original Power, and we expect those things to pay off in Power Origins, right? We expect to see, the death of Breeze and Ghost killing him and how they kind of set that up. And we expect to see Kanan getting sent to jail. We want to see all of these things. We want to see Ghost meeting Angela and her going off the choke, and, him kind of being sad and him moving on from her and him kind of going deeper into the game. All of these things must be shown. Granted, all that is going to take time. And I think it's one of the reasons why it's kind of taken so long for this show to kind of get put out, to get started with the writer's room, because they know that this show is a very serious show, right? Ghost and Tommy are the 2 favorite characters, the 2 biggest characters in the Power universe. If you fuck up their show, if you fuck up their prequel, well, you're really going to lose trust amongst the viewers, and honestly trust amongst, the people who are supporting and financing these shows. It's kind of going to go downhill from there. So it's why I've said in my previous video, I think the Power Legacy will probably come out before this show. They're going to take a lot more time to build, curate the stories, curate the characters, and decide what they want and what they don't want to do for, this prequel series. Another thing that I feel like they really need to hit and nail on with this prequel series is the enemies that Ghost and Tommy face or meet as they're kind of making that come up in the game. Like, they need to have they need to have very good adversaries, right? They need to have people worthy of going at these characters and kind of building them up to be who they were, because one thing that makes these shows is the villains, right? One thing that makes these shows, in any show, the villains, right, is the antagonists. And that's a very important aspect of the show that I really feel like they need to hit on, they need to nail on. And I feel like they can, right? I feel like they can. They have a lot of time. And one thing about Power is they don't really rush any of their stuff. Like, they'll take as many years, many months as they want to film, to write, to do all of this stuff. So I think that they have a good opportunity when it comes to just writing the show and figuring out what they want to do, at least for the first couple seasons. Because we know with these shows, the first couple seasons usually hit on point. It usually comes to the back end of the shows when things kind of go, downhill. But with a prequel show like this, you can't have any seasons like that. You can't have any seasons where you go weak on the pen, right? The storytelling has to be immaculate, because ultimately it's going to lead up to the OG Power. And a lot of fans are going to watch Power Origins and then probably go back and watch OG Power and try to tie in as many things as they can, right? That's kind of how we are. We're kind of like detectives when it comes to this series, right? Trying to piece everything together, trying to mix and match these characters and kind of put them all in line and see how they connect to each other. So that's very important as far as, how they're going to run this series. Another thing that I really feel like they need to hit on and to nail is the backstory of Ghost's family, right? We all have complained a million times about how we really don't know shit about Ghost. Really don't know anything about his friends, his family, his upbringing, outside of his relationship with Tommy. Obviously, we know, he kind of left his family and went to go live with Kate. And we kind of got a little bit of sprinkles of his childhood from Uncle Gabe and, the relationship with his father and his dad being a drunk and all of that stuff. But it's not enough. We need more. And Ghost is the face of the Power universe. And everything ultimately revolves around Ghost and some of his decisions and some of his actions and the relationships that he had in the original Power and Power Origins as well, right? So we need to get all the information that we can about his upbringing, because it'll make so much more sense as to why Ghost is who he is in the original show, right? A lot of times we wonder, like, damn, how was he moving like this? How was Ghost so slick? How did Ghost become so smart? How did he get his nickname? Like, little details like that are stuff that we really need to see. We need to see Breeze give him his name. We need to see Breeze analyzing and watching Ghost and, kind of breaking him down and seeing who he is as a person, as a character. And same with Kanan, same with Tommy. We need to see how all of these characters, interact with each other, and it leads to them becoming who they are in the original show. And I feel like if they can hit all of these points, it'll be good. It'll be straight. And they have no choice but to deliver at this point, right? I already see a lot of people in the comments saying that, they're doing too many spinoffs. They're spinning off too many shows. People are, they seem to be tired of it. I think it's bullshit. I think a lot of people are just kind of talking and complaining, and they're still going to tune in and watch, and they've still been tuning in and watching. But ultimately, I do think that this show will have a huge impact on the future of the universe. And if they keep spinning off and doing other shows, you guys let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.